in the region shortly. Joining us now to continue talking about a lot of what we're just discussing there, CNN political and global affairs analyst Barak Ravid, of course, also the global affairs correspondent for Axios. Barak, it's good to see you. So this morning, President Trump said that the ceasefire is going very well. He said that Netanyahu should be very proud, but it was literally almost exactly 24 hours ago that Trump accused Israel of not knowing what the F they're doing. What is the view among top Israeli officials today on where it stands?
Well, I think they may be a little late, but the Israeli leadership understood that yesterday when they planned this retaliation to the Iranian launch of one missile towards Israel, when they planned this massive retaliation, they understood late that it was an overreach, and they understood it only after Donald Trump came out, both in private and in public, against it. And I think what I heard from a very senior Israeli official is that Netanyahu got to the conclusion after his call with Donald Trump that maintaining a good relationship with Donald Trump is more important than another strike in Iran, and that's why they backed off and aborted most of the mission.
Now, you always have such great reporting and insight on all of this. President Trump also said, maybe this is one of those kind of moments of squishy language that he needs to clarify, but he also seemed to suggest today that Israeli officials or Israeli, agents had already been on the ground to the nuclear facility sites that the United States hit. Let me play this for everyone.
Israel is doing a report on it now, I understand. And I was told that they said it was total obliteration. You know, they have guys that go in there after the hit, and they say it was total obliteration.
You have new reporting on what Israeli intelligence services believe, but what are you hearing about this?
Well, I don't know if Israel had anybody on the ground going into the facilities in Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan and looking up close what happened. I just don't know if that's true. I do know that President Trump was accurate when he said that Israel is preparing its own battle damage assessment report. And several Israeli officials told me that they were actually a bit perplexed by how fast the Defense Intelligence Agency produced their own battle damage assessment, because for the Israelis, it is still too soon to have those kind of specific conclusions of how far back the Israeli and U.S. strikes took the Iranian nuclear program. What Israeli intelligence does suggest is that all three big industrial nuclear facilities in Natanz, Fordo, and Isfahan were significantly damaged. Natanz, I heard from 3 Israeli officials, both above the ground and underground, was destroyed. There was internal collapse in the underground facility. Isfahan, the uranium reprocessing facility, was completely destroyed. The tunnels, it is still unclear. They were damaged, but it is still unclear if there was internal collapse. And in Fordo, there was also significant damage, but it was still unclear whether there was collapse underground. I think that's the situation, at least as I heard it last night from Israeli officials.
Yeah, it's as this develops, it seems there's going to be a lot of discussion around what's the definition of obliteration. What does significant damage, what does that equate to in terms of the messaging coming from the administration and the assessment from intelligence services? If the ceasefire between Israel and Iran is now holding, as it obviously seems to be, what are you hearing from your sources happens now?
I think there's a lot of focus on Gaza now. 7 Israeli soldiers were killed yesterday in an IED that was put under an armored personnel carrier. I think that both Israeli public opinion and big parts of the Israeli leadership want this war to be over. The question is if Prime Minister Netanyahu's political calculations are such that he feels that after the successful war against Iran, he can basically go against some of his coalition partners and go for a deal that would lead to the release of the hostages in Gaza and to the end of the war. For now, it is still not the case. But I think if there's one thing to watch, is this, whether Netanyahu is now saying, okay, we had a good run against Iran. Now I feel that I have both the political space and the time to go for a deal with Gaza.
Barak Ravid, it's always good to see you and always great to have you reporting. Thank you so much. Omar.
Okay, breaking over.